Have you been drinking tonight?
Me neither. But a wee little birdie told me you wanted to make DARIACORE like this.
Don't stop making pop, DJ blowing speakers up. I'm afraid to see the sunlight. Dog on the clock, but the party don't stop, no.
So when you want to make DARIACORE, you want to imagine like a very sweet person, like a Care Bear, but that Care Bear just did copious amounts of is simultaneously beautiful while also being extremely chaotic. First of all, I got the Kesha TikTok acapella from YouTube and did YouTube's MP3, and then I pitched it up 3 semitones, and the original is at 120 BPM, so I brought this up to 172 BPM. This is all just the acapella with a few glitches. I'll let you listen to that by itself.
Speakers up, I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Dog on the clock, but the party don't stop, no.
And then I also have this vocal chop. I put that acapella after I pitched it up into Slice X, which looks like this. So basically all Slice X does is automatically chop your sample up into a bunch of small pieces, and you can use this to change the level of auto slicing, or you can do your own slices. And I actually have an entire tutorial on my channel about how to use Slice X, so I'll link that with a card. 2 different ways you could do this. You could just go into the piano roll, draw out what you want to do, and make whatever, but that's not what I did. Because I'm a lazy piece of shit. I just like randomly chose samples. Like literally, I tried to do this as random as possible. So I did all those random samples, and then I went to this wrench tool and I went to the arpeggiator, and you can choose up, down, you know, up and down. I chose up and down, but we could have done it like this. Either way, it sounds like a chopped vocal. So that's a really easy way to get cool vocal chops, is just throwing a bunch of them in there and then using the arpeggiator. And now let's get into these chords. So these is what these here chords sound like by themselves. And I know that looks complicated, but I made this whole thing in an hour. I was just like a squirrel on crack. I was just like random. That was all completely random. So basically I just did the chords that are actually in TikTok, except they're all up 3 semitones since we pitched the vocal up 3 semitones. So this is in F minor. So it just goes C sharp major, D sharp major, and then F minor. And then I just did these random little glitches, and I just stayed in the F minor key and just did a bunch of short notes at random times. This part looks really crazy, but let me break it down for you. Basically what that is called is a counter melody. So I have F, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp going up, and then I have it going in reverse up here, but then it's also different notes. One of the melodies is going up and one is going down, and that's always going to give you a cool fancy harmony sounding thing. That looks kind of like a flower. It's a very simple patch. All I have is Harmor at its default setting, and then I have the unison up to 9, and I have the pitch to around here. And you could go further up like that. It just depends on what you want to do with it. And then after the unison, all I did was add compression over here. I just chose heating. I brought the amount up all the way, and I have some of the mids brought up. Usually with supersaws, I would layer 5 to 7 different supersaws. And if you want a tutorial on that, I'll also link that up to a card, because I have a tutorial on melodic dubstep where I go a little deeper into the sound design with supersaws. Next up, I got a mid bass, which sounds like this, which is just following the exact same rhythm as the chords. This is a really simple patch also. I just have unison up to 5. I have it set to hertz, and then I have the pitch only up a little bit because it's a bass, so it gets a little bit crazy. Then I added classic distortion and some compression. I also bumped up the sub a lot, and I took out some of the highs so it didn't fight with the chords too much. And now let's get on to those fast arpeggios. It sounds so pretty, don't it? Well, guess what? It's also simple. It's just a C sharp major chord and then a D sharp major chord. And I made it in 3x oscillator. It's just one square wave, one pulse wave, and another square wave. And I just kind of chose those randomly too. I have the second oscillator bumped up to 0 and these two at -12. So this is an octave higher than the other two. Why? I don't know. To make this an arpeggio, you just go to wrench, and I just did up because I like the way that sounds. And I use this time knob to make it really fast. You could even go faster. And then I just put a little bit of reverb on it and then stereo enhancer to make it sound nice and wide. So then that paired with the chords and the bass sounds like this. Oh, and I'm also automating the mix of the reverb on that arpeggio. So that way, as soon as the chords start doing the choppy thing, there's no reverb or anything going on. And last thing for the melodic part, I have this noise behind it all. And that just makes it sound a little crispier. Before I show you the drums, I do want to mention that to get your DARIACORE to sound really glitchy, you want to make sure that your chords, your bass, everything is cutting out together. See, every time that we have the vocal glitching out like this, we also have the chords following that same rhythm. And that's really going to give you that HYPERFLIP, digicore, DARIACORE type of feeling, is just having it all do the same thing. And next, let's talk about the drums, and then we'll get into this cool thing, this little distortion trick. But let's go ahead and get drums out the way first. I did use a drum loop for this part. However, it's my drum loop, so what? This is actually from my Modern Post Arsenal pack. You can get it for $4.20 on the YouTube shop. Basically, this is just a regular old hip-hop loop. Nothing crazy going on there. The only thing that is kind of crazy is this is clipping out the ass. This is going way above 0. Like if I put this on a mixer track. And then in this section, which I guess is kind of a build up, I use different drums. So I'm just using an Umru kick. He is one of the goats for hyperpop drums. Umru and Sophie both have crazy hyperpop drums. You can get it on Splice. And then I just used a dubstep snare, just a regular old 909. This is a Virtual Riot one. FL Studio has a built-in 909 snare. And then I have these claps. Then I have the kick and snare, both going into a kick and snare bus. I basically just bumped up the volume a lot and then sent it through a Fruity soft clipper. Took the threshold down all the way, the post up all the way, and then that's going into a Fruity limiter. And that's just gonna make your kick and snare be the loudest thing and really stick out a lot. I didn't go too crazy with effects. I just did a riser. Give some momentum to it. And I threw this random vocal in here. This is from my pack, Pre-Drop Smashers, I think is what I called it. It's on my Patreon.
Call the fucking cops! I'm about to have a seizure!
That's me. Hey, you could do anything right there. Just find something you think is funny that's on YouTube or from an old song. What you want it to be though is you want it to be unexpected and out of place, because that's what's gonna tickle the brain whenever you're going from this like beauty to fucking weird noises. That's what creates the beautiful yin yang, right left brain, hyper coming together, all up pancake syrup, trash can, fuckface, DARIACORE. Okay, and now for the secret sauce, the big old distortion trick. That's like that TikTok bass. It's just a sine wave. That's all it is. But when you take really low frequency content and you clip the shit out of it, it makes the whole track sound like it's getting distorted. So if we just make it longer, you can really hear the effect. If there's something else you want to learn, let me know in the comments and I'll make that shit for real, for real. And if you want to learn more, check out one of these videos over here.
Hey baby, been a minute since we talked. Do you ever think about me when you're by yourself? Does he know you like I do? Do you gotta do it